What's better than having both the announcements of Hitman 3 and Horizon Zero Dawn's sequel? Easy. Just add a second trailer to Paper Mario the Origami King, which answers more of our questions and addresses some of the fans' concerns. I won't spend too much time beating around the bush here because there's a ton of new content to go over, especially regarding the game's battle system. Let's start with my overall impressions. Honestly, I'm sold on this game. It's clearly different from 64 or Thousand Year Door, however it looks quite fun, especially the combat, which we'll get into later. One of the first things I want to mention is how you can use confetti to patch up these broken parts of the world. I think both Arlo and GameXplain had predicted this, along with the bag, which we can see holds this confetti. It empties a bit when Mario throws it on this spot. The UK site mentions that you can collect more confetti by whacking certain objects with your hammer, such as trees, grass, bad guys, and bigger bad guys, possibly referring to the Mache enemies. To the right we can see a flashing spot, most likely a panel for the 1000 Arms ability, which will probably be used on this tree. It's also confirmed that Mario is going to these different worlds to destroy the sources of the streamers, though that much was somewhat obvious when looking at the original trailer. I did want to address one other thing regarding this part of the trailer.
Mario sets out on his latest journey around the world, searching for the ends of 5 massive streamers that have unfurled from Peach's castle. A forest spring, an autumn mountain, a ninja-filled mansion, an underground sewer system, a desert oasis.
It must be said that this doesn't mean these are the 5 worlds of the game. First of all, the health doesn't add up. Mario goes from 50 to 70 to 90, then 50 again with the sewer. Therefore, I doubt this game quote-unquote spoiled the worlds. We get a look at what appears to be a diner filled with several baby origami Goombas. Some crawling on the walls and floor, one under a clipboard, another hiding on this plate, and possibly one in the cabinet. We also see the bag of confetti, which appears to be empty. Perhaps this level will consist of getting rid of the Goomba infestation similar to Sticker Star's Mansion of Booze. There's a cave where we see a cracked wall with the toad behind it. We most likely need to save him. More importantly, there appears to be a swirl engraved into the platform. This means that the Zonai will, for sure, play a role in the game's story. A shot of the desert shows us statues of a chicken or peacock? There are some more paper mache Goombas within the tomb level, and the mache enemies appear to be their own tier of enemy. Perhaps one that isn't fought in the turn-based battles, but as an overworld enemy. Mario is seen being followed or chased by a chain chomp. Given that all the mache characters have been viewed as enemies, I assume it's the latter. We get some footage of a Gooper Blooper boss which may take place in the overworld. I assume the icons here are where the player must hammer to damage the boss. Technically, this enemy was already confirmed in a screenshot, however this is the first footage we have gotten of it. A quick shot of Mario looking in the direction of Peach's castle from Toad Town, and the next one confirms that the cable car from the town is needed to access the mountain, which is most likely World 2. There's a toad under the mountain in what appears to be a cave, along with some origami spinies. It's the area we saw in the first trailer. There's also some fish flopping on the ground. I have reason to think that this is a toad, which I'll get into a bit later. We also have a warp pipe to the top right of the shot. The narrator mentions hopping islands in regards to this shot. I won't be surprised if there's a whole world consisting of different islands as levels. It might be the closest thing to a world map that we get. There's a shot of a brand new settlement within the sky, and does this mean that we'll be getting a sky-themed world? There's evidence that links this world to the jungle one seen in the first trailer. We have the same companions with us, both Kamek and Bowser Jr. And yes, this rolled up person appears to be Bowser Jr. I wasn't sure in past screenshots, but this trailer gives us some better views of him. Either something happened to him, or he's just too lazy to walk and is making Kamek carry him. It seems like a very Bowser Jr. type of thing to do. The design of the buildings resembles that of Greek architecture with all of the columns and toad statues. There's also a giant building with a Bowser-faced entrance. I'm not sure if it's his castle or an entirely different structure. We also get a glimpse of some Shy Guy NPCs. We return to the mountain with a close-up of the cable car station and that same fish. The following shot is of what is described as a ninja-filled mansion. It appears that Mario is on the hunt for these ninja toads. Then again, it looks like it's a fake toad. Perhaps it's a hide-and-seek sort of game? Or the toad's just really good at blending in. There appears to be some underground sewers here. It would be really cool if this was under Toad Town, similar to the locations in 64 and Thousand Year Door. It looks like this level has a lighting mechanic which involves turning on lights to show more of the stage. Yet another shot of the jungle with Kamek and Bowser Jr. As said before, this is most likely connected in some way to the Sky Town we saw. Even more of these origami Goombas are hiding in this kitchen, which is most likely connected to the diner we saw before. There's some footage of one of the screenshots we got in the past. We can see Mario avoiding several thwomps. Looks like he'll have to travel down the slope while avoiding some obstacles, which we can see smashed by the thwomps. Mario restores a bridge which we can tell is beside Peach's castle. In fact, we can see where it is on the map. It's most likely there to act as a shortcut back to the main hub world to avoid backtracking. Plus, there's a warp pipe close to the castle entrance. The massive toad structure in the desert flashes a beam of light which is either activating something or revealing a spot to dig up. The boat minigame from the first trailer makes another appearance, and we get to see more of what's involved in it. The player must avoid falling obstacles, and there are heart items which we can assume restores 1 health to the boat's HP. Here's a nice little reference. Mario is in a western play with a layout closely resembling that of the Thousand Year Door's battles. Both Bobby and Olivia are in the crowd. Mario appears to be in a duel with a mache spike, with some Shy Guys and a narrator toad on stage. In addition, there appears to be a new game show. I suppose this is replacing the Sniff It or Whiff It. It's hosted by Shy Guys, and there are several categories worth different points, labeled as Rain Scramble, Race in Place, Ninja Skills, and Bath Math. Perhaps each category is of a different challenge. Some could be questions such as Bath Math, while Rain Scramble is battle challenges. We finally get some gameplay for the Paper Airplane Ambush, a game where you shoot oncoming planes. With the camera angle, we can tell this is the cannon in the mouth of Bowser's airship. On another note, all of these are regular bomb-ombs since they all have fuses. Looks like it will use tilt controls, and I wonder what the reset option is. We get a better idea at the chronological order of events in the beginning of the game. It appears that Mario meets Olivia before Bowser. We're back at the tomb where Adventure Toad is shouting at some sort of ghoul. Not sure if it's related to the Mushman on the wall or the faceless toads from the first trailer. The screenshot preceding the next pieces of footage gives us a glimpse at the many partners which will accompany Mario on his quest. This more so confirms information we already know. The image shows Bowser, Olivia, Kamek, Adventure Toad, Bobby, and Bowser Jr. Olivia is seen falling onto Mario in what appears to be World 1. If you recall, some previous footage showed the crew getting hit off the clown car while escaping Princess Peach's castle. Mario and Olivia are flown in the same direction. My personal theory is that this takes place right after that, and it's possible the player will fix this bridge sometime later to access the town. King Ollie continues to be very edgy with his stereotypical emo hair flip. We see some shiny origami cubes floating in the background. There's an elevator sequence in which Olivia mentions a floor with bicycles, mattresses, and other products. I'm not too sure if this is a joke or if she's serious. A shopping mall? The next shot is the player in a hotel room, and it makes sense for a hotel to have an elevator. I have my reasons to believe this is World 1 due to information we'll go over later. We get a closer look at the Japanese-styled town with the chain chomp. This one hasn't been turned into origami. Perhaps it guards the area, preventing the player from proceeding, and you distract it with some food. However, there are some enemies lurking about as we get a glimpse of origami sniffets. The tomb level appears to have a sort of hot spring, and the next shot is very interesting. You know that shot in the first trailer with the Metroid reference? Well, in this shot, Mario wears a Goomba mache mask on his head, which Olivia thinks is hilarious. But if we take a close look, this is the same one that was on this shelf as Nothing Is There. This makes me believe that he put that mask on purpose. And that got me thinking, what if it's to wear a disguise so he can blend in with the enemies? Both 64 and TTYD did something similar, so it's possible. The desert has some sort of altar here, and I'm not sure what's on it. Adventure Toad mentions something about the Ancient Ones, whoever they are. I mean, he is an explorer. Yet another glimpse of the Sky World, this time with a map of the town. It looks like this is also where Kamek gets introduced as a partner. They might rendezvous with Bowser Jr. later in the jungle part of the world. There's a lot of dirt on him, and I think others mentioned this already, but perhaps the shot from the first trailer was him cleaning himself in the spring. And finally, we get confirmation that some, let me repeat, some of the partners will aid in battle. Therefore, some of the partners we get will only be story-related. One example might be Bowser. I'd also say Olivia, but there is an exception to that which will be addressed later. As of now, we know that Bobby and Adventure Toad will be part of the battles. And before people get worried that their attacks will be limited to one move, I'd like to point out that the one the Bob-omb uses has a name. Bomb Bump. Why would you name your attack unless there are other moves? But we'll just have to wait and see. Either way, this is definitely a step in the right direction. There's this house, which is covered by the red streamer. It looks like it can only be accessed once the streamer's end is dealt with. I wonder if that means the fast travel warp pipe is inside. It would make sense if this house only becomes available after the chapter is finished. They show off some more of the turn-based combat where the goal is to line up as many enemies as possible. You have a time limit for each move, as well as a limit to how many rain moves you can make. We're introduced to a new battle mechanic though. Not only can you spin the rain, but also slide it to position enemies all on one side. It adds an extra level of depth to the combat. There's another shot featuring the Shiny Boots attack, and if you look closely, there's a second slot for an attack. The shot right after shows us that the slot was used for a jump attack. It's possible that Mario can do multiple moves in one turn. The boots attack all enemies in one line, while the hammer appears to hit the ones in a 2-space range. At the end of each fight, there is a battle bonus. The one shown off is the clear bonus, but given the layout, it looks like there are multiple lines for multiple bonuses. Perhaps you can fulfill multiple different achievements to increase the coins earned per battle, or some could be reserved to show items won in that battle. Or, if we were to be optimistic, perhaps one for the experience earned each fight? Probably not, but I still have hope. We still don't know how Mario increases his HP. Well, with the exception of something else. More on that later. And the news just gets better and better.
Use items like the Fire Flower, the Tail, and the Pow Block to take down your foes.
Items are different from basic attacks. Thank you. We also get a look at a nice world with an origami form of these sidestepper crab enemies. Another thing I noticed was the return of the Goomba in a shoe enemy. This might have been in Color Splash, but I don't know. The iron boots are making a comeback. My guess is they let you jump on spike enemies like in Sticker Star. And now, the bosses. I wonder what ferocious beasts Mario will have to face off against this time.
The menacing members of the Legion of Stationery guard the ends of the streamers in each region, presenting the sharp set of 12 colored pencils.
Pencil crayons? Okay, that's just stupid. And I love it. We were all hating on the Thing items from Sticker Star and Color Splash, now they're out for blood. This is such a Nintendo thing to do, and honestly, I don't mind it. Of course I prefer the original boss designs of the first few games, but this is still hilarious. So far we have 3 confirmed stationary bosses: colored pencils, rubber band, and tape. Each one appears to be protecting the end of the streamers. Both the colored pencils and tape are close to theirs. And this means the emblem behind the rubber band in the first trailer is that world's streamer end. We still have a couple stationary bosses not known, which is completely fine since the trailer shouldn't spoil all of them. The fight shows a guard plus being used by Mario. Is it an accessory? And battles for the world bosses play out differently. You must line up the reins to make a path to the boss, and there are many different panels on the spaces. These ones look like they are normal attacks, with the other panels allowing Mario to use his paper fold ability on the boss. I'm not too sure what the on button does. Some of the 1000 paper folds panels appear to be deactivated, so it's possible that this turns them on. I'm not too sure what the letter with a question mark does though. And now we get into the collectibles. The still image shows confetti, different origami animals, and Cheep Cheeps. If you recall, there was a shot in the first trailer of fishing up a Cheep Cheep. Perhaps the world has multiple fishing spots and you must collect all these Cheep Cheeps. Or it's simply one minigame. The world will have a variety of toads which need to be saved. Some are obvious, like this one wedged in between the logs. Others will be folded into different origami forms, and these can be somewhat hard to find. We see toads disguised as a cicada, flower, egg, and the dog seen in the previous image. This is why I believe the fish seen previously is actually a toad. The UK site confirms what their purpose is, as saving more and more will increase the population of Toad Town, opening more shops and facilities. However, it clearly says some of them. Since the battle audience consists of toads, it's possible that finding more will increase this crowd. Similar to Thousand Year Door, this audience can assist Mario by throwing items his way and, in addition, throw items at enemies. Looks like it's RNG based, as certain spaces are targeted by the toads. There are several empty seats on the benches. Perhaps the toads left the stands to temporarily circle Mario. Again, we can look at information from the UK site. If you're struggling to line up enemies in battle, get us to cheer for you. Flash us some cash and we'll rush the stage to help. We'll clobber enemies, heal you up, and maybe even solve parts of a puzzle. This must be what the cheer button is for. I wonder what the solving parts of a puzzle means. Will they give you the answer to properly line up the reins for enemies and bosses? Looks like there's an origami form of a white muncher-like enemy. There's a quick glimpse of what I assume is an island from the SeaWorld, and a statue of an angel toad? Mario is seen fixing one of the spots with confetti and gets an achievement for repairing all holes on that one island, similar to restoring all colors of a level in Color Splash. There's a building to the left of the shot. I'm not sure if it's the one featured in the Sky World map or in the Autumn Mountain given the color of the environment. We get a brief look at a target minigame where you hammer buttons which release shurikens. Are you supposed to hit the toads or avoid them? And yet another collectible treasure, papier-mâché figurines of the game's characters. That's pretty cool. We're now in a bar with a Sledge Bro serving Mario and some baby Goombas. A couple of them are propping up the giant teacup so the rest can drink from it, and I think it's adorable. Mario's health also pops up when he starts drinking, and you can see him getting healed just before the shot ends. It probably fully restores his health. Looks like some chests can be found underwater and grabbed with these claws. But is there full underwater exploration, or are they more so dive spots? Another shot of the island we saw previously, and here we see the rain mechanic being used not for a battle, but a slide puzzle. Is this a story-related thing or an optional minigame for a collectible figurine? We get yet another look at the elevator sequence, this time it's being attacked by pencil crayons. Yup, the very same which belong to the boss. This is why I believe this is connected to the first world. I assume this Goomba Mario is destroying with the hammer is the same one at the beginning of the game. This further implies that the Maché characters are overworld enemies which won't be fought in turn-based battles. And I'm willing to bet this confetti can be collected to fill Mario's bag. The desert also appears to hold a giant Maché Pokey. Is it in the middle of a sandstorm? And how exactly will we fight an enemy this tall? In the Bootmobile? I want to be scared of these Goombas chasing Mario, but it looks so adorable. Mario and Olivia are sitting on a stump until someone calls out. And is this a sky level? And what's this? Luigi's a temporary partner? While this is very cool, the site also mentions him collecting keys to Peach's castle. But if it's at the top of the mountain, then what does this mean? Mario tears apart a tower to find one of the toads. How did he even get in there? We also see Mario use his ability on this tree. I have a feeling it's that part we saw in the first shot. A mountain with falling rocks, a dramatic scene for the sake of being dramatic. Mario looks surprisingly chill there. This looks like a puzzle where you have to step on the right tiles. Stepping on the wrong one causes these statues to shoot fire. And they look like the ones seen in the desert. Some piranhas with a chain chomp, and there's confetti flying everywhere. Is that from the piranha being eaten by the chomp? And here Mario is seen avoiding missiles which happen to be the pencil crayons. We can assume that this is World 1 and that Mario is climbing this tower to the streamer end at the top where the boss awaits. There's a lot to take in for the next shot. Mario is riding a water dragon and shooting a phoenix-like bird in a boss battle. More importantly, ours has a crown that should look familiar. More on this later. And it looks like Kinali is responsible for that boulder we saw in the first trailer. And that's basically everything from Nintendo's new trailer. But there is more footage and screenshots which were uploaded by GameXplain. Thanks guys! So here's another boss fight, this time of an enemy we caught a glimpse of in Trailer 1. It's sort of a huge variant of the Koopa species. The battle confirms that treasure chests can be found in the fight, and hearts will heal 30 HP to Mario. And the boss deals quite a bit of damage, that is, until Mario uses his Fold's ability to flip it and wail on its weak point. There's a new shiny spot, this time Olivia transforms into the creature they just battled. It looks like defeating the bosses might give her a new transformation. These can be used to solve both overworld puzzles and for combat. It looks like this might be the tower the missiles were attacking. And remember that crown on the water dragon? Yup, this must also be Olivia transformed. Some of the panels for boss fights might increase Mario's stats, and the following shows much more depth as certain spots are targeted by the pencil crayon missiles. If Mario ends his turn on any of these spots, he'll get damaged. On some occasions, it might be worth taking the damage depending on what you gain from the move. This looks like it's part of the sewer level, where Mario uses his ability to turn a wheel. Is the puzzle based on changing the water level? Water temple, here I come. We get an idea of how much confetti can be held at one time. It takes 2 throws to change the level of the bag. And apparently Mario can get bags of coins which are worth 1,000? Speaking of coins, this is a matching minigame that rewards the player with coins. Pulling this tree summons Birdo in the background, and the stump the player is sitting on can talk. Is this the voice that startled them? Even more trees have eyes. In fact, the ones in the background of the first trailer also had eyes. Remember the signs which we couldn't read? Well, turns out there's no text on them. You have to interact with it to read it. And there's apparently a dried up lake? I kinda feel bad for the fish. And is this a sort of train station which you ride to get to the Japanese-style town? There's also a hiding Goomba samurai. More footage of a screenshot we already had. Looks like a mache and origami ambush. It's possible that this is the hotel. Mario slams into and kills a Pokey in the desert level. It looks like these enemies do indeed drop scraps which Mario can use as confetti. Hey look, Adventure Toad is digging up those treasure spots. This is actually a pretty big deal when you think about it. Certain characters may have certain abilities to help with puzzles in the overworld. In this case, it appears to be a collectible figurine of the Bootmobile. This looks like another one of the many islands in the ocean world. Is that a toad pirate? There's a skull island with crows flying around, along with a fire flower spinning around in the overworld. Will it be a temporary power-up to solve a puzzle, or an item for turn-based battles? We're back in the jungle with more Angel Toad statues approaching a giant tree. We'll probably have to make our way up since there are ladders on the bark. Is this that floating island we saw before? Top 10 pictures taken just before disaster. Here's a big building in Toad Town which resembles a museum, and translations confirm this. But what exactly is it there for? That's an easy one. A display for all those figurines you collect. There's a close-up shot of the Phoenix bird, behind it are steps upwards. I assume that's where we need to go. And there's an enclosed battle arena with 3 mache Shy Guys. The next shot looks like the kitchen level seen before. My question is this the elevator we saw previously? Remember that western stage we saw previously? There's a mache Sniffet instead of Spike. Are there different stages to complete in this segment? The town previously shown has a blue pipe which should look familiar. It's the exact same one seen in this room of warp pipes. This pretty much confirms that it's a hub to fast travel to the worlds, and that the mountain level is World 2. Therefore, instead of a train station, is this another cable car station? We see a pond with a swan, and I bet that swan is a toad. We get a look at a scorpion and Boo, and again, the scorpion might also be a toad. In addition to that, there's angel toads? And could that structure actually be Bowser's castle? We also get a first glimpse at one of the game's item shops. It sure feels good to see those again. It looks like World 2's boss battle will take place in the hotel since the ribbon's end is up there. Lots of toads are stuck on the ground. We're going to have to, unfortunately, set them all free. And here's a launch shot of the World 1 tower. Lastly, we have some images that confirm a sort of badge system will be replaced by accessories. But some of these are similar to badges, like HP Up and Guard Up. I'm guessing the last one might give you more time for each rain spin in the battles, and there are different tiers for all these accessories. Other menu tabs are Info, Map, Weapons, Accessories, Items, and Useful Items. I'm guessing that useful items might be the equivalent to key items in Paper Mario. Lastly, we get a picture of the weapons page of the menu. It appears the normal boots and hammer are permanent. Thank goodness. There are multiple of the same weapon type unequipped, and the site confirms these types will break after a while. Sounds like they can be used more than once. While it is a consumable attack, it's an upgrade from Sticker Star and Color Splash. Aside from that, that's basically all the new information we got. This video turned out to be a lot longer than usual, so if you enjoyed, then make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more Paper Mario content and Zelda theories. I'm looking forward to playing this game, which I will be streaming on the channel. Thanks for watching, I've been NintendoBlackCrisis, and I will see you guys next time.